All of the Profi tractor test measurements are conducted on behalf of Profi at the DLG test station at Grossmannstadt near Frankfurt in Germany. This brief video shows how the Profi tractor tests are carried out, both at the test station and in the field. Our example machine is the Austrian-built Lindner Geotrac 124. Torque and fuel consumption are measured on the DLG's PTO test stand. Here, the engineers fit speed sensors to measure the PTO speed and temperature sensors to record the temperature of the cooling water and fuel, as well as the temperature of the engine and transmission oil. The test stand provides a controlled environment in which to obtain reproducible and comparable results on tractor outputs and fuel consumption rates in compliance with the OECD standard codes. In this case, the Hariba Schenk HD 600 PTO brake acts as a power generator, which has the capacity to transform up to 600 kilowatts of tractor power into electric power. Before the measurements are taken, the engineers warm up the tractor, operating it at full speed and load. Then the brake places load on the engine, usually in 100 RPM increments, until the engine speed is dragged down to 900 RPM. It is the results of these measurements that are used to draw the graphs that you find in our published tractor tests. As all tractors are tested in a controlled environment and in exactly the same way, the results are directly comparable. Once the PTO test stand measurements are completed, the tractor is then driven to the outdoor course for tests on its braking power. The equipment used to verify the tractor's deceleration is the so-called Peisler wheel, which measures forward speed and braking power. This sensor is installed on the brake pedal to measure the actual pedal force applied by the operator to bring the tractor to a complete halt. So we not only discover the tractor's maximum speed, but also the effectiveness of its brakes. The next item on our checklist is lift capacity. The DLG engineers jack up the tractor and align its wheels very accurately to ensure that excessive strain isn't placed on the tyres when the rear linkage is raised under load. The lift force is measured throughout the full lift range of the rear linkage. Again, it's the results obtained in these measurements that are used to draw the lift curves that appear in the published Profi tractor test every month. Pressure and flow rates are measured on the spools, and the results obtained here are used to determine the tractor's hydraulic output. Wrapping up the lab tests, the engineers make a note of the height, width and length of the tractor, and then take the machine out again for another circuit of the DLG test course. Before heading out of the building, the tractor is fitted with the so-called Powermix module, and coupled up to the rear is the truck that measures drawbar power. This truck is a 27-ton MAN that was converted according to the DLG's precise specifications. The The Powermix module records 3 different measurements at the same time: PTO speed, hydraulic output and drawbar power. The equipment that applies the braking power is a water-cooled Schenck WT470 dynamometer, which is mounted in the rear of the truck. As the machine puts in its laps of the test course to complete the 12 test cycles of the DLG Powermix test protocol, the operator and the test engineer inside the truck communicate by CB radio. It takes at least 3 days to complete this test procedure and obtain all of the required statistics on drawbar power, noise level, and the Powermix results. All the results will be published in the next issue of Profi. Yet the test lab section is only one part of the Profi tractor test. Naturally, we also want to check out how the machine performs in the field. These practical tests are carried out by a number of host farmers and contractors who have operated a vast range of machines and equipment for us over the years, and therefore are in an ideal position to compare machines and their respective performances. The manufacturer sends a specialist out to the host farm or contractor to train both the Profi editors and testers on machine operation. After that, we're ready, and the tractor sets off to work. During this field test phase, we try to undertake as many applications as possible, depending on the season. In this way, we can provide our readers with a comprehensive picture of the potential, as well as the limitations, of the specific tractor under scrutiny. Over the course of the 2 to 4 weeks that the tractor spends in the field, we always find plenty of opportunities to test the machine under a wide range of conditions, both in the field and out on the road. The implements and trailers used are owned by the testers or are currently undergoing a Profi practical test. This makes for a good mix of combinations and tests the tractor's versatility in a real-life working environment. While the tests are in progress, a suspicious-looking character appears on the scene. No, it's not a rival after a scoop. In fact, it's Profi's photographer, Stefan Fornig. His job is to produce dramatic working images and also pick out some of the more interesting points of detail around the tractor. Stefan's pictures illustrate nearly every article in our magazine. He's a busy chap. To snap the most spectacular shots, Stefan often takes to the sky, or occasionally even grovels down in the dirt. The end result is that the reader always gets to see the individual machines from a different and interesting angle. Yet there's still more to a tractor test than just lab testing and working it in the field. The editors also make a close inspection of every aspect of the machine, referring to a checklist that has been refined over the years and that covers everything from the air cleaner to the rear linkage. Back at the office, we start bringing all of the test elements together to produce an interesting and informative report. This is then laid out onto a magazine page by our designer, Lindner Geotrac. Before the latest issue of Profi drops through your letterbox, the test tractor is already on its way back to its manufacturer. And then the whole process starts all over again.